First of all, thank you very much, Vasuji and Vaniji. It's always a pleasure to be here, and it is indeed the service of people like you that today great message of great masters is spreading. So first of all, thank you very much for creating this platform and conducting this satsang. So Vasuji spoke so many things, but first of all, it's all the grace of great gurus. So today, if there is anything that is being said and any honor is being given, it's all because of the grace of the gurus. So I'm eternally indebted to all of them. So let us begin our today's session with prayers. Let me share my screen. With that, we'll all be able to see the prayer, and we'll begin together. And with that, I will also introduce to today's session. Is the screen visible?
Yeah.
And it is visible.
So is this way of displaying okay, or do you want me to make it full screen? Is this okay? Vaniji, Vasuji, is this okay?
Full screen would be more effective, I think.
All right, let me make it like that.
Yeah.
1 minute. Yeah.
Yes,
Is this better?
I think this is better. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
So let us begin by chanting Omkara 3 times, followed by a few prayers. Om. 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 Let us begin by respecting the self. Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyakjyotihi, Paratpara, Jyotirjyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atmajyotihi, Shivosmyaham. Let us do Guru Vandana. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namaha. Let us offer our respects to the unbroken Guru Parampara. Narayana Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I want to specially offer my gratitude and respects to Sri Acharya Vinay Vinekar, founder of Sevak, and Sri Narasimha Prabhuji. It is their wisdom and guidance that I am going to be sharing mainly today. So these two masters have been serving humanity selflessly for many, many decades now. It is the compassion and the offering by these great masters that elevates all of us in the path of moksha. So I'm eternally grateful and thankful for all the things they've offered. Today is a very special day. Today is the first day of Navaratri. So let us begin by offering our respects to Divine Mother. It is Divine Mother who operates in us as the Jnana Shakti, Ichcha Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. All the movement that happens in this existence is all the grace of the Divine Mother. May the grace of the Divine Mother help us all in this path of self-realization and service to the world. So I bow down and welcome all the divine Atma Jyotis. I bow down to the divine light of the self in all of you. All right. So, Prayer of the Frog. Prayer of the Frog is a collection of wonderful stories of wisdom by Anthony de Mello. Some of you may be aware of Sri Anthony de Mello, a Jesuit teacher who's no more there, but he has collected some of the excellent and most wonderful stories in this Prayer of Frog. Prayer of Frog is a collection of stories which are essentially, in one sense, condition busters. All of us have a lot of conditioning in the mind, and that conditioning is what blocks us from realizing the truth. So it's an excellent collection of stories which bring out that inherent conditioning to the surface so that it evaporates. So it's very fascinating in these stories, various aspects that he has touched upon. And of course, Sri Krishna, who doesn't know amongst us? His most favorite uttering is Bhagavad Gita. So, being the Navaratri, being the environment so full of devotion, the question that we can explore today is, who is really Lord's favorite devotee? Who does the Lord really has the most favoritism towards? It's as if Lord is a very favorite game player. So who is he really favoriting? So that's the question. By looking at this Prayer of the Frog stories and few other anecdotal stories and Bhagavad Gita, that today we will be seeing. So we all have seen in and around us various expressions of devotion. So typically when we talk of bhakti or devotion, what comes to our mind is various kinds of rituals. That's the first thing that may come to our mind. And in various different places and in various different situations. So you can see some of the examples here. So these are the various expressions that we see in our culture. Not just within our culture, but in and around the world, there are different ways of expressing this devotion. So fundamentally, there is someone who's offering some level of respect and acknowledging that there is something higher than him or her. So there is a devotee and there's an object of devotion, and the devotion is expressed through various forms of respect and various kinds of offerings, sometimes material, sometimes through various kinds of utterings. So these are the various expressions of devotion that we have seen. So many people offer devotion. Is there a qualitative difference in this devotion? Is there someone who is more closer to the Lord? Because the object of devotion can vary. In fact, devotion is an inherent quality in each one of us. Bhakti is inherent in each one of us. It's as inherent as breathing. Each one of us is devoted. To what object? That may be different. Some of us may be devoted to our wife, our husband, or our children, or our money, or our possessions, or our titles. Some of us may be devoted to our, let's say, creations, maybe books, maybe art, maybe music. And some of us are devoted to a higher power in this existence, which seems to have created this entirety. So there seems to be an acknowledgement of a higher power, which seems to be the creator, the maintainer, and the modifier of this existence. So we give different names and we are devoted. So devotion itself is inherent. The object of devotion may vary. So depending upon the object of devotion, our evolution happens, isn't it? When I am utterly devoted to money, all I think and dream and work towards is money. When I'm devoted towards name, fame, that's what I'm devoted towards, and that's what I focus on. So the object of devotion is what my evolution will be towards. I evolve towards my object of devotion. So is it important what object that we are devoted to? Yes, inherently very important. So when I'm devoted to money, name, and fame, nothing bad, nothing wrong. But why am I devoted to them? I'm devoted to them because I expect something else from those objects. What is it I expect? If you examine a little thoroughly, what is that any one of us want out of, say, money, or the possessions, or various relationships that we gather? What is that we really are looking for from them? Is it the object itself? Can I take my 100 rupee note and eat it? No, I cannot. So what is that I'm looking for from that 100 rupee note? Something to eat or wear. Why? Because I am expecting something more. What is that? A sense of satisfaction, a sense of enjoyment. So when you look a little deeply and examine a little thoroughly, why are we doing whatever we are doing? We are doing because we are pursuing something. What is that we are pursuing? We are in the pursuit of happiness. We all want to be happy, healthy, peaceful, isn't it? Is there anyone here who doesn't like any of these three? Happiness, health, and peace? None of us. All of us, not just humans. Look around. Any animal, any being, what is that they want? They all want this. So there's nothing wrong in the pursuit, but the question that we should ask is the object that we are pursuing is capable of giving us that in a permanent way? So there's nothing wrong in the pursuit of money, but does the money offer me that permanent happiness? Is the question that I need to ask and examine very honestly. So in our journey so far, we all pursued various things and have come to a certain conclusion that any of these objects are not worthy of giving me that permanent happiness that I'm seeking. So therefore, now the attention has shifted to God. So let me pursue God. Let me go after God. Let me realize God, God realization. So when this question deepens and my focus and my attention and all my yearning is for God, that is when bhakti develops in me. So the focus of our today's discussion is in the pursuit of God, in the pursuit of God realization. What is the role of the bhakti? Who is this bhakta? So everybody seems to be in pursuit of this fellow called God. Now, is there a person or is there someone who God prefers more? That is the fundamental question. So let's begin with Bhagavad Gita. It is the uttering by the Lord himself. So this is a couple of shlokas from the Bhakti Yoga, chapter 12. So here, Bhakti Yoga, Lord has discussed various aspects of bhakti, and from 13th shloka onwards, Lord gives us who is Lord's favorite devotee. So let me first chant these two shlokas, give a brief meaning, and go a little deeper. Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitra karuna eva cha nirmamo nirahankara samadukha sukhakshami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dridha nishchayaha Mayyarpita mano buddhi yo mad bhakta same priyaha. So what is Lord telling us through these two? Lord is essentially saying, so Lord here is addressing Arjuna. So Lord is saying, Arjuna, those devotees who have no malice in their mind, who see all beings, who are very compassionate, who see all beings as part of them, who are very friendly with all beings, they are very dear to me. Those who have no attachment, no egoism, and they are able to accept whatever comes in their life, happiness, distress, success, failure, and who are willing to forgive. Those who are constantly abiding in me through their work, through their speech, in their thinking. These are the ones who I am really, they are my favorite. So among all the devotees, Sri Krishna here is giving what is the quality, what are the qualifications of his favorite devotees. So that is the focus of our examination today. So what does Lord mean when Lord says, those who are compassionate? There is a wonderful story. Story starts like this. There's a very pious man, and he's very devoted to Lord. Every day, morning, night, he would, without failure, he would pray, and then only he would do his next things. In the night, without praying, he would not go to sleep. So today was one such day, and he closed his eyes and he wanted to start the prayer. As he started the prayer, that was a very calm night. And in the night, all sorts of creatures were making sound. And among those sounds, there was a frog, which was doing the water, 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 very loudly. So the pious man closed his eyes. He wanted to say his prayers. But this frog, he did not know. He was praying. So it was doing its sound. Water, water, water. So this pious man, for a moment, got upset. What is this? I want to pray very peacefully. my prayer I want to offer to Lord. And this fellow is making such a noise. So he turned around and he ordered, stop it. This pious man, because of all the prayers he had done, he had developed powers. As soon as he said, stop it, all the creatures who were making sound, they got stunned and everything fell silent. No sound at all. Deep silence. Now the pious man felt a little relieved. Now I can say my prayers. So he closed his eyes and he wanted to now say his prayers. But suddenly, something from within him asked him a question. Do you think these sounds, if they were not necessary, they wouldn't have been created? He didn't know who was speaking. But he continued the dialogue in his mind. The pious man said, oh, it's such a horrible sound. See, I wanted to offer the prayer. But somehow the voice within did not stop. The voice continued to ask him. It asked, sure, you want to pray, but is that other sound any less meaningful? For a moment, this pious man took that question and he felt, let me see what is really in this other sound. So he turned around and he again ordered, okay, let the music begin. Let the sound continue. As if it was a pause button which had been removed, all the sounds from all the creatures continued. That water, kiki, all that sound again filled the night's silence. This pious man, this time, for a moment, just wanted to hear that sound. Just completely hear that sound. Because he wanted to know what is in that sound. So for a moment, he kept aside his own thought. Why are they making this sound? Why are they disturbing me? I'm supposed to be praying. All that he kept aside. He just closed his eyes and completely listened. As he was listening, his heart opened completely. Then he felt, what a wonderful prayer it is. What an excellent prayer it is. So if the Lord did not want any of this, why would he have created? So Krishna is asking, Arjuna, are you compassionate? Do you have space for all in your heart? I want to show, I have all these little friends. They are my best teachers. I want to show you video of one of my best friend. She is my best teacher. Her name is Anvi. Just take a look at this video. After that, I will say a few more things.
JG video sound is muted.
This little puppy that is stuck in a drainage, and nobody can put their hand and take it out. And that little puppy had been crying. And this little girl brought all these adults. She said, we have to help this puppy. So when Lord says, no malice, who are friendly and compassionate, he must have meant somebody like Anvi. So the next one that we're going to see is, what does Lord mean by this lack of attachment to possessions, egoism, who can accept happiness and distress, and forgiving? What does he mean? Ever forgiving. So in order to see that, I want to introduce you to another wonderful teacher. Our life is full of teachers, and we can learn from them at all moments. And this teacher is unfortunately no more there. Some of you may know her. Her name is Sindhu Tai. I want to first show you a short video of hers. Then I want to tell you one story from her life to go into that aspect that Sri Krishna is talking about. So first, let's see this short video.
Known as the mother of orphans, Sindhu Tai has devoted over 40 years to raising over 1,400 children. Now, aged almost 70, she runs 5 orphanages, 2 for boys, 2 for girls, and even 1 for cows.
Vijayji, you can mute
Despite
your
only having a basic level
laptop,
of
I
schooling
think,
herself,
because, oh no, it is not coming. If you
So
mute,
you want to mute something?
On a second
No.
device, you can mute it.
do you?
Huh.
It was echoing. That is why. When the
You have
video.
another tab or something that you're keeping, phone or tab or something. There you can mute the speaker. Because you're getting an echo in the video.
Have you logged in from 2 devices, Vijay Ji, by any chance?
No, I have logged in from only one device.
One device, because when you play the video, it is echoing. So we were
Echoing, right?
wondering.
Okay, all right. Let me.
Please try again.
त्यांना
Let
कुठे
us
नाही
see.
त्यांची माहिती.
It's better now.
Known as the mother of orphans, Sindhute Satkal has devoted over 40 years to raising over 1,400 children. Now, aged almost 70, she runs 5 orphanages, 2 for boys, 2 for girls, and even 1 for cows.
माझं कुटुंब फार मोठं आहे रे. हजारो लेकरांची माय, 282 जवाईची सासू, 1.25 म्हणजे 49 सुना, 2.25 गाईची आई. अरे मोठं कुटुंब आहे माझं.
Despite only having a basic level of schooling herself, Sindhute has always maintained the importance of education for the children she raises, and many have gone on to be doctors, lawyers and engineers. Unlike conventional orphanages, the children don't have to leave when they reach 18. Instead, they stay until they get jobs or are married.
मी 2 हाताची 4 हात करते, संसार बसवून देते. 18 वर्ष झालं म्हणजे सरकार म्हणते त्याला हाकलून द्या, त्याचं काही घेणं देणं नाही. 18 वर्ष झालं म्हणजे त्याला अक्कल आली नाही. खरं म्हणजे त्यावेळेसच त्याला गरज असते मायेची.
बरं झालं त्यांनी आईवडील दिले नाही. आईवडील दिले असते तर त्यांनी कदाचित एवढं प्रेमही नसतं केलं, एवढा जीवही नसता लावला, एवढ्या हजारो भावंडांमध्ये राहायला सुद्धा मिळालं नसतं.
26-year-old Vinay was taken in at 1.5 months old by Sindhute when she found him abandoned at a railway station.
लहानाचं मोठं केलं आणि इथपर्यंत पोहोचलं. आता 1 डिसेंबरला माझं लग्न करून दिलं माईंनी. छान संसार सुरू आहे. सगळी माईंचीच कृपा. माईंच्यामुळं माझं एवढं, म्हणजे जर माई नसत्या तर आज मी इथपर्यंत पोहोचूच शकलो नसतो. एखाद्या रेल्वे स्टेशनवर असतो किंवा वेगळ्या क्षेत्रात गेलो असतो. जे प्रेम दिलं आहे ना ते भरभरून आहे. तिची मायेची सावली तिने आम्हाला अक्षरशः फुलाप्रमाणे जपलं आहे. माझ्यासारख्या हजारो पोरांना. म्हणजे
हेच की माईंनी भरपूर जणांना सांभाळले, तीच गोष्ट खूप चांगली वाटते की ज्यांना आई वडील नव्हते त्यांना माईंनी एक आसरा दिला.
Sindhute has 4 children of her own, and her daughter Mamata has spent the last 10 years running one of her centers for boys. Inspired by her mother, she graduated in psychology and did her master's in social work.
म्हणजे आपली भूमिका ही मी संस्था चालक म्हणून स्वतःकडे बघत नाही, मी राखणदार म्हणून स्वतःकडे बघते. ह्या भिंत इमारतीपासून याच्या आतमधला जो प्रत्येक जीव आहे त्याची सर्वतोपरी राखण करण्याची जबाबदारी माझ्याकडे आहे. त्यामुळे मी तो राखणदार हाच रोल माझा आहे इथे.
त्याला जाणीव ही असते की आपण खूप मोठ्या दुःखातून आलेलो आहे आणि आता आपल्याला आईमुळं जे विश्व नवीन बघायला मिळालंय ते खूप चांगलं आहे. ते खूप सुखाचं आयुष्य आहे.
Like the children she's taken in, Sindhute herself has had to overcome many challenges. She was married aged 10, had 3 sons by the age of 20, and was cast out by her husband when 9 months pregnant with her daughter. Having delivered her daughter herself in a barn, she survived by singing for food on trains.
भुकेने जग शिकवलं, भुकेने गरिबांपर्यंत पाठवलं, भुकेने जगणं शिकवलं, भुकेने पायात बळ दिलं.
कसे लहानपणापासून मी आईला पाहत आले. म्हणजे जर मेन फरक सांगायचा म्हटला तर मी कधीच एका ठराविक कुटुंबाच्या साच्यामध्ये लहानाची मोठी झाली नाही. माझं 12 वर्षाचं आयुष्य तर वसतिगृहामध्येच गेलं. पण त्या सुट्ट्यांच्या दरम्यान जेव्हा कधी मी घरी गेले तेव्हा नेहमी माझ्याकडे एक गोष्ट होती की आई ही घरातला मुख्य कर्ता माणूस असायची.
संकटावर मात करायला शिका. आणि माझ्या संकटाने मला आयुष्य दिलं, नाव दिलं, प्रपंच दिला, लेकरांची माय व्हायला शिकवलं. बाळा संकटाचे आभार.
Sindhute has won many awards and has even been granted honorary degrees. She receives no government funding, relying on private donations, so she still maintains a grueling public speaking schedule.
भाषण नाही तर राशन नाही, भाषणावर माझं राशन उभं आहे. आणि पुरस्काराची भाकरी होत नाही. पुरस्कार 750 आहे, पण त्याची पोळी नाही होत, रोटी नाही होत बेटा.
Sindhute hopes her legacy will live on, not just through the centres that she and her family run, but through her example. And many of her children have been inspired to go into social work, including 18-year-old Pratibha, who was taken in 16 years ago.
माई जे सगळ्यांना जो जिव्हाळा लावतात ना, ते मला आवडतं. माईंचं बोलणं आवडतं मला. आईच नाही तर ती सर्वस्व आहे ती माझी.
म्हणून ते दुःखातून तवून सुलाखून आलेले लेकर ते उद्याला माझ्यापेक्षा अधिक चांगलं काम करतात. पावते वाहत जाते, समोर दगड आला तर ती त्याला टकुरा आपटत बसत नाही, हळूच वळसा घालून जात आहे. संकटाचे दगड येतील, वळसा घालून जगायला शिका, हे माझं सांगणं असतं बेटा. बरोबर.
So, you saw Sindhutai. So you saw her accomplishments. Thousands of orphan children. She's a mother. But her very story, when it began, wasn't like this. Maybe you heard in the video, she got married when she was only 10. By 20, she already had 3 children. And it so happened that when she was carrying her daughter, in the video you saw, there was one girl, who was standing with her, very beaming and very happy and smiling. So that daughter, when she was carrying, her husband thought that this daughter is an illicit daughter. And they did not want to own both the mother and the daughter into their family. And they decided that they want to kill her, both the mother and the daughter. So Sindhutai's story begins from there. So it so happened that they took her to a cow barn where they wanted to finish both of them. And they had kicked and hit her, and she was bleeding and she fell unconscious. They thought she was going to die, and they walked away. When she came into consciousness, it was a cow that was standing above her. And by then already, she was going through her pregnancy pain. And it is in that cow barn that she gave birth to her daughter. And she used a rock there to cut the umbilical cord. And these people who had hit her, along with her husband, came back to make sure that she has died. When they came back, these cows, look at how existence works. These cows chased those people away. So Sindhutai decided the way these cows protected her, she will protect them. And that's why you saw she was not only a mother for orphan children, but also for cows, hundreds of them. But anyway, the story continues. She started begging for living, one after the other. It's a life full of, when you look at it from one angle, the utmost desperate and very low and not at all positive conditions. She would be trembling in the middle of the night, in no place to stay, with a daughter, a very young girl. And she says she got the courage to live when one day she saw one beggar crying, saying, I have no one and I want to die. can somebody give me a couple of drops of water? She just then had begged and got a couple of pieces of bread. So she went to him, took him in her lap, gave him the water he was asking for and the pieces of bread, and he survived. So she decided, though her life itself had no meaning by then, she thought, just a little water, just a little bread that I gave, and the sense of satisfaction I feel when he survived, let me live for somebody else. Why am I thinking of killing and dying? Because by then, she really wanted to end her life. And from there, her life began. So she started thinking how I can be a mother to all these others who cry and who are in desperate need for someone who can just simply hold them and give a little comfort. So one led to the other. She became very, very well known because her work and her selfless approach had really attracted a lot of people. So many, many things had started happening. And many, many years later, and in one of her talks, she says, this is the most important and most fulfilling moment and the lesson she learned in her life. And that is, what happened is, after many, many years, one day, there was one very, very poor looking, totally dilapidated man who knocked on her orphanage door. It looked as if he hadn't eaten for many, many days. And it turns out it was none other than her own husband who wanted to kill her. And today he was at her doors. He had no place to go, and he needed somebody else's mercy to even survive today. And she told him, I will take you in, not as a wife, but as a mother. Among all my other children, you will also be one of the child. So she decided that I am willing to forgive. And she says that very decision and that very act of forgiveness completely liberated her. So Krishna says, the one who has given up attachment to possessions, ego, come what may, are equipoised, ever forgiving. They're the dearest to me, Arjuna. He must have meant somebody like Sindhutai only. When Krishna says, abide in me, think of me, be dedicated to me, how is it even possible? How is it even possible in our day-to-day life? Can I do it? Hundreds of things are there demanding our attention and our time and energy. How can I do it? With the same question, there was this shoemaker who went to a wise man. He told the wise man, see, whoever comes to you, you help them. Also, you teach them how to really pray. I have also learned that I have to pray as many times, at least 3 times a day, But you know what happens? My job is such that I only get to start the work at night, because most of my customers are very poor people who go to work during the day. Usually they have only 1 or 2 pairs, and that too are all usually broken. And they come to me in the night, and they really, really need it by the morning before they can go to their work. So most often, I spend my time working on the broken shoes all through the night. And by the time I'm so exhausted that I usually fall asleep. Usually by the time I wake up, the morning prayer time is over. And whenever I start to work, this feeling truly haunts me. How unworthy I am that I'm not even making my time to pray to you, O Lord. And every time I start the work, I have this nagging feeling. So he asked the wise man, what should I do? Do I have a chance of ever residing in the God's heart? I don't even have time to pray to him properly. How unlucky I am. And the wise one said, if I were God, your prayer would be the most dearest to me. The very fact that you have the feeling to think of me even when you're working in such conditions, it means a lot to me. If I were God, I would not wish for any other prayer than this. So there goes. Who is the most favorite devotee of the Lord? The one who is compassionate to all beings. The one who is willing to forgive. The one who is willing to accept what comes. And the one who does work as an offering to the Lord. So all the divine Atma Jyotis, this much I wanted to share with all of you today. With this, let me stop here. If there is any question or anything anybody wants to share, please do so.
I will unmute, open the controls for people to ask questions. Just give a minute, please. If there are any questions, 1 second. Yes. You can unmute. People who have questions can please unmute and ask. You can turn on your videos and mute and ask. Dr. Venkatachalapati has raised his hand.
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening,
Yes,
sir.
the examples are very good, and about devotion as well as how to serve without egoism. But I have one question. Can you please explain what is moksha? Moksha is after death or within the experience of life?
All right, sir. This is my understanding, sir. Moksha is about, at this moment, how is your life? Is it peaceful? Is it graceful? Is it pleasant? Is it something that you feel worthy of? Then this must be moksha. Because once you have died and gone, never come back to answer this question. So right now, how is the life? So the teachings of Bhagavan also are about Jivan Mukti, moksha here and now. How your life can be in freedom. And when can that happen? When you come out of the bondage. And what is the bondage? The bondage of the ignorance. So coming out of the bondage of the ignorance and living a life of service is what I would call as moksha, sir. So it is here and now.
ವಿಜಯ್ ಸರ್,
Yes, Nalini Amma.
ಇವಾಗ ಮೋಕ್ಷದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮುಕ್ತಿ ದೆನ್?
All right. So moksha means what? Liberation. Liberation from what? And who has to be liberated? That is an important question, isn't it? So for a moment, look at body. Is the body ever in bondage? Unless somebody has tied you, the body, is it in bondage? Can it move anywhere? No, it cannot really move anywhere, everywhere. There are certain limitations to the body. Though somebody may not have tied, there are still limitations. You cannot just go to the edge of a cliff and jump. So there are certain limitations to the body. So when we say mukti, or when we say liberation, is the liberation to the body? Can the body be liberated? What is even meant to liberate the body? So who has to be liberated has to be understood very clearly. So if the body has to be liberated, which body? When I was a child, I had a different body. As I was growing up, I have a different body. So is liberation to the body? No, it cannot be, because body is something that is constantly morphing, constantly changing. So liberation is not that of the body then. Then where is this bondage? Where do I feel I am bound? Then it must be somewhere in my mind. So what is mind? Mind is nothing but collection of various thoughts, various impressions I've gathered. So in that, where is the bondage? What is binding me in the thought process? Is there any thought which comes and tells me that you are bound? Then which is that thought? And who does it point to saying that you are bound? So this is the important question that we have to examine. Who is really bound? And where is one bound? And this question is the key to unlock the question that you asked. Who is really the one who is asking the question that I need liberation? So about that, one has to examine. As Ramana Maharshi says, ask the question, who is the one who is asking these questions? Who wants the liberation? Who am I truly? So the key to both the questions are in this essential question of who am I? So when you examine that question, what remains without any doubt, without any change, must be the answer. And what is that? And that is you, the essential you, the unchanging you. So realizing this, that I am not the changing, but the unchanging, is the key towards liberation. And this happens by repetitive listening to the words of a realized being and by contemplating on it. So Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. So this is the path for freedom. Does that bring clarity to the question that you raised, Nalini Amma?
There is no shortcut. I thought you will give some shortcut. There is
And
no
it-
shortcut.
It
We
is the
have to-
shortest cut. It is the shortest cut because it is about you, and there is no distance between you and this question. But there seems to be a long distance because of the thought process. So in a way, therefore, it is the shortest cut, but may appear to be the longest journey.
Okay, thank you.
Vijay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Sri Jankiram has raised. Thank you, Nalini ji, for the question.
Okay, Vasu. Thank you. Thank you.
Jankiram ji, you have raised your hand. Please unmute and ask questions.
Thank you, Vijay sir, for a very, with a lot of good examples and stories. My clarification is, in the Gita, it is also said that each person is born with predominantly one or more of the gunas, and also karma plays the role. So in the lives of examples you quoted and in our own lives, what is its influence in somebody becoming as a role model or otherwise? I don't know
Okay,
whether I made my question clear.
Yeah, let's make the question clear, sir. So are you asking the question, what is the role of a role model in this evolution?
No, what is the role of these gunas and karmas making a person a role model? That is my question.
Okay, understood. So what enables a person to become a role model, like how you saw, say, whether it's Sindhu Tai? So what is the influence of the karma and what is the influence of the gunas for anybody to become like one of the examples that
Exactly.
you saw?
Yeah, that is my question.
Okay, excellent, sir, excellent. All right. So first of all, let's understand the gunas. So Bhagavad Gita also talks, there are 3 gunas. So anything is made up of 3 gunas, essential gunas. Tamo guna, Rajo guna, Sattva guna. Tamo guna is that of the laziness, inertia. Then Rajo guna is that of the egocentric activities. Then Sattva guna is that of the peace, calmness. So these are the essential qualities. These 3 are the essential gunas. Anything in life is made up of these 3 in different proportions. So when you look at whether vegetables or fruits or people, your own mind, you can see predominant qualities, one of them, in different situations, some of them are more apparent. So as an example, if you look at Ramayana, Kumbhakarna is an example for Tamoguna. Eat, sleep. Then Ravana is an example for Rajoguna. A lot of activities born out of egocentricity. Vibhishana is an example for Sattva guna. So it is Vibhishana's qualities, the Sattva guna, which enables one to even recognize the nobility or the stature of Sri Rama. So what is important then? It is a mind which is sattva pradhana, is capable of listening and realizing the truth of existence. So therefore, first is my effort should be to make my own mind sattva pradhana. Your question is, what enables somebody to become a role model between the gunas and the karmas? So what I am saying is, first is, when I look at my own mind, I have to see how I can make my mind sattva pradhana. Meaning what? What is sattva pradhana means? And that is essentially the qualities that Sri Krishna is also giving here. When you look at the who is my favorite devotee, all of these are sattva pradhana gunas. And how do I develop them? Through a conscious choice making. So that little teacher, Anvi, the video that you saw, see, when that puppy was stuck there and the puppy was crying, all others around also would have heard. But many others would have said, "Are yaar, I have so much of work to do, let me walk." But it is this little child who said, "No, no, no, I have to go and protect this," and brought all others. So it's a conscious choice that one makes at that point in time. And that brings out the transformation. So like that, at any point of time, we have to make a conscious choice in any activity of our life. So as we make choices in accordance to the laws of the existence, which is nothing but dharma. When our choices are in tune with dharma, natural laws of life. See what? Again, let us look at this through the example of Anvi. So little children, when you notice, are naturally compassionate. Each one of us, even that Ravana, even that Duryodhana, was once upon a child, a small child, a very compassionate. So then what happened as they grew up? So it is what they accepted from the society, isn't it? So everyone is born with a divine nature only. But as they grow, as they accept various stories from the society, slowly, they accept the nature of the story. So the sattva pradhana mind starts, depending upon what kind of impressions come, becomes tamo or rajo. You would know this story. There were two twin parrots born to a baby, a mother parrot. One of them was taken to a butcher's place. Another one was taken to a wise man's place. The one which went to the butcher after many days would greet anyone who comes as kill, murder, I'm going to curse you now. So all kinds of profane language. The one which went to the wise man's place would say, please come in. What can I offer you? What can I do for you? So what is that we can see from this story? Both are born to the same mother. Both have the same capacity. But what comes into them matters a lot. And not only what comes into them, what they choose to accept. That is the beauty of the human consciousness. Whatever story may come to you, ultimately it is you who accept that story and decide that this is how I will move my life. So when Sindhutai's husband came, Sindhutai could have chosen to be revengeful. To be, you did that to me and now you suffer. See, this is your karma. You suffer today. Absolutely correct, no? That is what he did to her. And today he is in that same position. But she chose to look at her own divine nature. So therefore, what I would say, sir, is the mind has the ability to bring out the divine nature. So therefore, there may be an influence of karma, there may be a predominant influence of the qualities, but what choice we make in the given situation determines and makes the move. So the great masters did not become great masters just out of blue. It's a conscious choice, whether it is Prabhuji or Vinay Guruji or Amritanandamayi Amma or whichever great master you see. They saw the divine nature and they decided, this is how I will live my life. So the effect of the guna and the effect of the karma, more than that, the power of the choice could move them along, but the karma would bring various situations. The power of the karma or the effect of the karma is to bring situations. And that is why Shri Krishna is also saying here, the ones who are equipoised in happiness and distress. So when you make a choice that I will bring out the divine nature within me, that is bringing out the Krishnatva. So yes, the gunas and the karma definitely have a play, but much more than that is your own power to choose your own divine nature and act accordingly.
Thank you so much. Very nicely explained. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vijay Ji. Thank you, Jankiram Ji, for his question and answer. Any others who would like to ask any questions, please unmute and ask. Anybody has any questions? Any more questions? We have time for a few more questions. Otherwise, Vijay Ji, would you like to share anything else in this direction on this topic? We have another 10 minutes if you would like to.
Sure. Yeah. So we can do a small visualization meditation, sir.
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Please sit straight. Keep your back erect. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. In your mind now, you go back many years when you were a little child. Maybe 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years. Whatever you may remember. Go back to your childhood. Just see what's happening around you. Maybe your father has come back home and he has brought something for you. See how you are. See how excited you are. See you going out and calling all your friends and see what games you are playing. Your most favorite game. And see how your friends are there with you. See how happy, excited, thrilled you are. Maybe now, one of your friend pushes you and you fall and you got a little hurt and you start crying. You're very sad and also angry at the same time. But your friend rushes to you, seeing you crying. He holds your hand and lifts you up. In the very next moment, your anger has vanished. Once again, you're giggling, running, enjoying with your friend. How lovely it was. So easy it was. Now come back many, many years into your current life. And just see. Just see, is there any feeling of sadness, hurt, anger? Maybe because of what someone did. Or maybe because your actions. If these feelings are because of somebody's actions, from your heart, forgive them. See you holding their hand, looking into their eyes. Deep from your heart, feel that forgiveness. If all these feelings of sadness, hurt, are because of your actions towards them, hold their hand from your heart, seek forgiveness. Just say, really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Whatever happened, please forgive me. Look into their eyes. See your little friend holding your hand, and you feeling that ease. Gently become aware of your breath now. And aware of your body. And slowly open your eyes. Let us end it with a prayer. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.